Hello, welcome to Exotic Gardening with me, Yorkshire Kris, on what is quite a noisy morning. We've got people doing work just around the corner, music, dogs, but we will crack on even though we've got quite a lot of sound around us. And today we're working in this area by the bridge where we used to have a big selenium. We also had the chocolate vine archway going over here and along the ropeway, and I've cleared that away now. And it's left a big, I say big, it's a decent sized space by the side and underneath this wonderful Trachycarpus princeps palm, which is put on some decent size now and flowered for the first time earlier this year. And the soil here is unimproved, so it was all the topsoil that we dug out from the pond many years ago and piled up here. It's a decent depth, but it's pretty much just sort of clay topsoil. I added lots of grit over the years as well for the various plants we've had in here and just to give it a top in. And it moves on to further down here where we had the wooden decking path, and that has been added with lots of new topsoil and compost. And as you can see, we've got a big Euphorbia self-sown here, which we had from original plants. They do self-seed quite a lot, and it's formed a beautiful dome of foliage. But I don't want that plant in that spot. I want to actually take over this area and plant my Amicia, zygomeris and other plants in that area. And then behind that I've got the bamboo and other palms. And this area I'm standing in, it gets a lot of sun. It's very free draining, but it will hold on to some moisture as well. So it's a really good spot for many different types of plants. You can't really go wrong because you've got the sun, you've got the drainage, but you've got some decent nutrition in there, and you've got the very, well, deep soil compared to the rest of the garden as well. So we've got various plants I want to plant in here, but we've got to, like I said, clear this area. It's still got some brambles and seedlings of the chocolate vines that I need to dig up. So I'll do that now and have a look, pull back the ivy and have a look at what we're going to do in this area, because like I said, we're going to have to dig up this Euphorbia. I'm not going to save it, I'm just going to get rid of that and see how much space we're left with for planting some new plants. Now all these dead leaves, these are off the yucca. This is an original plant and it does produce a lot of leaves every year and a lot of old dead leaves that just need pulling off. So I've pulled off a lot of leaves from down there. I can probably get in and pull off a lot more, but it just opens up the space. Got a lot of spotting on this yucca as well, so getting rid of the old leaves is a good idea, as well as all the rubbish around here. And I did say at some point I was going to sort out the stones around the pond, because look, these are just almost falling in because of the bad angle. So I might do that as well. And we've got things like this, seedlings of the chocolate vine need digging up, some couch grass, all sorts. So I'll just spend some time clearing all this space and then moving round, and then I'll tackle that Euphorbia and get rid of all the concrete and all the other rubbish under there. So I've cleared all around the Trachycarpus princeps palm. I've also taken away literally hundreds, if not thousands of old leaves from underneath the yucca there, but there's still literally hundreds under there as well, but I think that's cleared enough. Something I did notice is when I've replaced that stone there, I noticed the roots from the Trachycarpus princeps up there were actually feeding directly into the pond water. So some had travelled across the surface under the stone and taken up moisture and water direct from the pond. So it'll never be short of moisture if it's doing that, I suppose. So we've cleared this side pretty much, got rid of all the weeds coming up. Still got a bit of ivy, but more or less done. And now it's on to this area here. So this is the Euphorbia here. Euphorbia marifera, fantastic plant, beautiful luxuriant foliage, but it's a good plant and it's in a good place, but it's the wrong place for me because I want to change this area and add that Amicia which we had down the garden. So before I tried to dig it up, I'm going to cut it back first, but be very mindful of that sap, because that sap is caustic, can burn your skin very easily. So I've got gloves on. I'm going to be very careful. Ideally, I have long sleeve shirt on, but it is a pretty hot day. I'm going to be careful, cut it back, and then dig it up when I can see what we're working with. So, I know it looks dramatic, this, because it is, because I'm cutting it all the way back. But sometimes you've got to make these decisions when you're reshaping your garden. And this, like I said, was self-sown. It's, you know, the seed just appeared here from another plant, germinated and grew in this spot. So it was happy in this spot. But it's time to dig it up. And we could already see the sap forming the cuts. And that sap, like I said, is sticky and caustic and will burn your skin. So be very careful of that, and it will start dripping. So when I dig it up and pick it up to the bin, be really careful with that. It's a tough plant, but the root slayer should easily get it up. That's got the wires on top. Careful of that. Here, there. Yeah, there's sap everywhere, sprayed onto my clothes. It's a good job my legs were covered. Right, so I've left a nice big space here, so I'm going to clear this up. We've got concrete here, we've got rubble, tons of weeds, tons of ivy, things we don't really want, all in this area. So I'm going to clear this up. And beyond me, which we can't see, that big mound of ivy is actually where my electricity suppliers are down the garden. There's 4 plugs there, pump, and for anything else I want to plug in behind the bamboo and the ivy. So I'll tidy this area up a bit, and then we're going to rejuvenate the soil with a bit more compost for the Amicia here, and then we can get planting. So finally cleared away all the brambles, weeds and rubbish, Euphorbia and everything else around here, and now you can see the outline of the bed. We've got this sinuous curve made from the gravel that we did, and then we've got the space we're going to plant up. So it probably didn't look much just clearing this small area, but that's 2 wheelie bins full of garden waste just here because of all the brambles, especially the ivy in the shadows over there. So what are we left with? Well, on the sunny side here, on the slope, we have got an iris that's just been here forever, keeps seeding itself about the garden. This is stinking iris. And we've also got a hemicalis down here, so the daylily. Got a much bigger one just over there. And these were always either side of the path, or should I say, either side of the bridge. So I cleared all this here, so I've got lots of space to be working with. On this sunny side, we can do lots of arid style plants. And then as we move around here, I've got a flatter area, and this is where the Amicia can go, and some flowers can go here. And just to give you an idea, from that edge where the bridge is over to the bamboo, we're talking about 3 meters, something like that. And it goes back about 2 meters. So that's the area we're working with. Obviously we've got shade from the yucca and the palms here, but it's very sunny on this side and this front edge, and then it's shadier and then a bit of sun here. Other plants we've got the Zygomeris, Paulaventii, so that's in that corner. So we've got some decent moisture there to keep that looking happy. And then we've got the bamboos here. We've also got the wire from our pond pump. It's still plugged in because that case, that tubing goes underneath some, well, a big piece of wood and then goes over there to the power supply. I can focus down there. And we've also got the tap from here, which I haven't actually used for a long time, but we've got a tap there. We've got to be careful not to dig through that pipe. That is useful if we want to water things down the garden. So that's the area we've got to play with. Now, Shall we have a look at a few of the plants we're going to plant? We've got this wonderful hibiscus, this blue hibiscus. This will enjoy this sun, and that will be planted on the sunny side, and it will get not too big, but it will cover a decent space, about as big as well that Euphorbia did, so something around that size, like that there. We've also got a Euphorbia, a much smaller Euphorbia to plant here, this rainbow coloured one. We've got a puya, so we can plant that on the shade, on the sunny side, on the slope. And I think it's time to plant out another polyphylla at an angle on the slope for excellent drainage and in full sun, so that will do well. And this, if you remember, I picked up, this is spiky acanthus, which has orangey red flowers. This is senii, so that will be planted there, and also an Euphorbia as well. And I'm sure we'll put some more, let's call them casual plants that are going to be there for just a few months, like all these aeoniums as well. So we've got plenty of plants to put in. I want it to look a good show straight away because we've got the open day in August. But then we've got the backbone plants as well. And obviously the star plant, or will be the star plant, in this space will be Amicia zygomeris, which grows up, beautiful foliage in summer. And then when that dies down in winter, you've still got the bamboos behind for some winter and spring interest. So let's get planting. So this is one of two Amicia zygomeris that I'm going to plant in this area. And if you may remember, this plant was originally planted behind us, behind the camera, by the Jebea for many years. We had a border there. Then it was dug up, and it was a big whole plant, and it was moved into the jungle area that is now the lawn further down the garden. So that got divided and split up into many parts, including these two that we're going to put back in the bed over here. So it gets a lot of sun, not full sun all day, but pretty much it's south facing, but it's got shelter from the palm trees either side. And the soil's deep and rich in this area, so it's perfect for this plant, which hails from Mexico. It's a member of the pea family, has these unusual leaves with the indentations at the end, and then at the end of each day, all the leaflets fold in on themselves and go to sleep effectively. So these, nice and easy to plant in this area, these nice big tomato pots. And then we've got lots of other plants to plant, and I'm going to get on with planting them all now, and I'll show you the final effect right now. And here's the planted up bed. So on this side you can see by the pond, which we've cleared a bit, we've got the polyphylla to the right, the fascicle area, aeoniums. We've still got a bit of that hemerocallis there as well, the daylily. We've got the acanthus senii, more aeoniums, and then if we look up and trim back a little bit of this trachycarpus princeps palm, just so we have some space for planting underneath. And then we'll just walk around. See how I've filled out with aeoniums round here, which will perk up a bit and face the sun a bit better soon. The Euphorbia there, so this is the sunny side. All this gets full sun when the sun's shining on this slope, very free draining and nice and sunny. And then we move round, got more aeoniums dotted, got the Plectranthus there. Again, that will bulk up very, very quickly over the next week or two and look really good by the open day. Another Plectranthus there as well, spreading out. And then above, planted a onset Heneba. That'll fill the vertical space there. And then we get a bit closer. Got the wonderful hibiscus. Look at the flower there. Get that out. Beautiful, beautiful flowers there. And then behind, we've got the two Amicia zygomeris already filling out that space. And it won't be long before it really fills the space. And definitely next year that'll be covering that area, and it'll be already up to my height, up to about 2 meters tall. But when it's just planted, obviously they don't look as substantial, but they'll quickly, as I said, bulk up. There's still planting options. There's still a big space over there, but that's in the shade underneath the palm trees and the yucca there. So we can plant under there as well. And there's still little pockets of planting I could do in this area, but overall I'm happy with that. I think we've got a nice backdrop of the bamboos and palms for year-round interest. The Amicias that will give structure in summer once established. Colour from the hibiscus and also the Euphorbia there as well. And then temporary interest in terms of the aeoniums in this area. And I think, you know, given a good winter, that aloe polyphylla will establish, get through and bulk up, and they grow really quickly. It'll be amazing to see this time next year, if it survives winter, that should fill a gap between there towards the pond and up there as well towards the palm tree trunk. They do get big, good 30, 40, 50 centimetres across. So that's the bed. What do you think of my planting choices? I will be adding to it as well, but I think it's a big change from what it was, which was just a wooden path going through. Do that Euphorbia there. We've put the gravel paths in now, the edging, got the new bridge here, and this banking's been cleared, which was the chocolate vine archway, and really sort of changed the space, opened it up. Nice ground cover, and given time it'll establish well back to being a full tropical bed. So thank you for watching this edition of Exotic Gardening UK. Join me next week as we do more in the garden.